wanted to do a little video because I rewatched the webinar and obviously I give nothing about my life, so I'm here at my mum's at Aix-en-Provence, absolutely deliciously beautiful. It's going to be about 20 degrees and it's very early, we're walking the dogs. Look, I'll just show you there. There's mum and my boy with the 3 dogs, and it's really lovely. This is all romarin, lovely. We have thym here, and the smells are just delicious. As you can tell, the sky is beautiful. So a little bit about me. I'm 51. I was born in France, went to England. Well, first off went to the States for about 6 months, and then we came back to France and went to England, where we were only supposed to stay a year. So Mum thought, well, you know, for them to learn English, I'll just put them in the local school. But my father kept on going up, and so we stayed till, you know, after degree level. So I stayed there. Then I went to, my parents then moved to the States. So I went to the States after my degree. I got a degree in chemistry with biology. And after that, I went to the States, obviously. Worked a little bit to pay off all my loans. That was lovely. And then I got a job at Club Med, where I met my husband. So we then toured a little bit in the States, and we went back to France because he really wanted to stay in France. He's a plumber, so I thought, oh great, we can go wherever, you know, do whatever, because plumbers are everywhere. And he really didn't want to leave France. I wasn't happy in France because they don't, for starters, the one and only thing, they just undress you with their eyes, and I wasn't used to that in England. They just don't do that. So for that reason, and then, you know, every time I'd get a temping job, I'd get sort of invited by the director to do overtime, etc., etc., etc. So it was not a nice, you know, it was sleazy for me. And so then we moved out of Paris because we went to China for 6 months. 6-7 months, where I conversed with the Chinese. You know, after 90 days I had this conversation without my little guidebook, whole conversation, 3 or 4 sentences, but it was a conversation. That was just amazing, amazing, amazing experience. Came back, so we lived at Mum's, and after that we got a flat just in the suburbs, and he started his company and I started my child-rearing years. I went back to school, couldn't get anything in France, so I went back to Sheffield University, where I studied archaeology, sciences in archaeology. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. Really hard work, but much, much fun. Then what did we do? Oh yes, we started having the babies, the company. I managed to get this diploma in France, which is like the first year of the PhD. I was learning accountancy for companies, what have you. It was all stations go, but I felt really quite happy with that because I like to do a lot of things at the same time. And then we hired someone we shouldn't have done. He completely wrecked the company. We had to let it go bankrupt before we could fire this person because we're in socialist France. So it was a nightmare. Many rows, many arguments about, you know, fire him, I can't, blah, blah, blah. I was trying to get on the legal side of it, couldn't. Look at this view. That house there you see in the middle, chateau, is where my parents live. Not in the house, no, just off the road. But that's Charleval. And so after that, we went to this, from Paris, we went to Leland, which has got, you know, the biggest pine forest of Western Europe. It has nothing, and we were 10 kilometres from the sea, well 15 kilometres from the sea, from the ocean, and always in the pine forest. It was absolutely lovely. We had a huge house, and then we started to work on the house. T started to go balmy because he had no work to do. From, you know, having 3 or 4 really good jobs, he would have really good jobs in Paris because he was bilingual. So all the very rich have Filipinos, you know, that speak only English, and he would be trusted, and his work is, you know, even if we're not together, he does do brilliant work. And this changed my mind completely. I changed, obviously, also, maybe, probably, suddenly. And that's where the violence sort of began, verbal. Well, that's what I think, but looking back on it, I think it's always been. So I lived 10 years in Leland, where it just went downhill, and I could no longer stick it, and I left. September 2014, I went to Bordeaux. I had 2 weeks to look for a little flat, a house, anything. I found something. I called the ether, the universe. Sorry, I'm coming. And I called the universe. It came through. I got a little house. And so while I was in Leland, I did Herbalife just to get out and about, which was really tough. Really, really tough. Lovely and exciting. Very good products. And I got really thin, but they were just, just killing you, you know, softly. So I was looking on the internet for somewhere to earn some money. And that's when I found the SFM, J Cubesack. Well, I found J Cubesack before that, with Carbon Copy Pro. As I said, I went to a couple of events in the States, and that's about it. So I have 4 children. Oldest is 20, autistic. They're all high IQ, which is very rare. Normally you have 1 or 2 in the family, but I've got 4, yes. So the first one is autistic. The second one, Maud, is high IQ but dyslexic, so whatever. The third one, Hector, is a little dyslexic but has no mythology in his work, so he's all high IQ kids fail in shitty school systems, which we have here in France. And the little one, Zelly, she's 12, so it goes 20, 19, 15, 17, or 18 in a month. And Zelly's 12. She lived through hell. I would, go hide in her room at the end. Anyway, her life has not been a bundle of fun. And that's where I'm at the moment with SFM. I think the SFM you've discovered throughout the hour that, that's where I was at. So just wanted to add this little video because I didn't really talk about myself. I'm sorry, I wasn't. But hey, that's what being in the spotlight's all about. You learn, don't you? So there you go. I hope this can rectify that. I just want to share with you this lovely view that we're getting here. Look, we're coming up to it. You can see my mum and my son. Look at this view. And you see these mountains. When we lived in England, we'd come... Oh my God, it's just beautiful. When we lived in England, we'd come to Saint-Tropez for the summer holidays. And we'd wake up and we'd see these mountains. Because they go all the way down to the south now. We're about an hour away from Saint-Tropez. Or 2 hours, maybe. So that's why these mountains in the Luberon is really, really special to me, and I love to come here, and that's why Mum got a little house here. So there you go. That's it for me. I hope this can rectify that. Bye.